I've had this topic on my mind for a while regarding the Hoyoverse VAs. I actually was thinking about this and sort of rolling around in my head for a while before this whole Robin drama happened on Twitter. We're going to talk about the Hoyoverse VAs, some concerns that I have, some criticism for the community, which I'm sure is going to go over very well. And I just have to speak on it because I think that this whole Robin situation did highlight some points and make it very easy for me to make them. Subscribe! I want to start this out by saying that in no way is this a specific criticism of the VAs. And I'm not also trying to imply that Hoyoverse has done something wrong either. I want to talk about the position that Hoyoverse VAs put themselves in when they become content creators associated with Hoyo. Because I think that there are some worrying elements to it that put these VAs in a very difficult position. And it does sort of, in a way, make it inevitable that VAs will always be attacked by the community. It's not unheard of that voice actors are attacked by the community of the video game that they voice act for, right? That's happened. I think it happened with Bayonetta. It's happened with a couple of them, but it's sort of like, it's big news when that happens, and it's not particularly common, where with Hoyoverse, this has happened almost since the start of Genshin. Paimon's voice actor, this happened to. Male Traveler's voice actor, Kokomi's voice actor, this has happened to. Most recently, it was Annalisa Fisher, Firefly's voice actor, where the community comes after voice actors. I've always had a bit of a weird feeling about the practice of some Hoyoverse VAs. They voice act for a character in the game, and they become a content creator, especially they become a streamer, like almost as soon as it's announced. I will say that a lot of times I do think they had been content creating to some extent or another beforehand, but once they're announced as the VA for X character, they start going on stream as this character's voice actor. And they always kind of pop up immediately to the top of the category. They'll always have about 300 viewers. They go from, you know, a name that is credited to being a public figure. And when you're advertising yourself as like this character's voice actor, you obviously get more attention and more people click onto your stream, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you have all of the skills associated with being a streamer of that size. Yes, 300 viewers is not a crazy amount, but the difference between 25 or 100 and like 300 viewers and how you have to deal with your community and how you have to deal with being a streamer on that level is very different. And you're sort of skipping a bunch of steps of learning skills and learning how to be a streamer all the way up to being like a pretty relatively like public figure. I think it's a smart business move for these voice actors to do this, to sort of have this big opportunity in a community that is highly involved and try to jumpstart your career based on that opportunity. So I'm not faulting them for taking that opportunity. You should take your opportunities when you get them. I want to first give the examples of like Amelie and Sayu. Amelie and Sayu are professional voice actors, obviously. They were already very well established voice actors before being picked up by Hoyo, and separately, they were already very established streamers, VTubers. So when they announce that they are now Hoyo voice actors, it's an addition to an already very prosperous content creation career and an already prosperous VA career. They have a lot more power in that situation because they're already established on multiple fronts, and their entire persona online is not based around a Hoyoverse character. If you think about Amelie, is the first thing you think about the fact that she was Jing Liu's voice actor? Because to me, I knew her long before she voice acted for a Hoyoverse. I knew of Sayu long before he voice acted for Genshin Impact. That was something that they got into later because they were fans of the game, but that's not what they're known for. The difference between that and some of the voice actors who have recently going into being Hoyoverse voice actors is that they do not have established content creation personas or careers. In the past, a voice actor was not necessarily someone that you could watch stream. They were credited, they were paid for their voice acting, but they're not a public figure already content creating. I don't want to forget that that exists. By labeling themselves as X character's voice actor, and that's how they stream, that's how they get people to click in, you are inextricably tying yourself to a corporation. your persona, ultimately, until you start to separate it from such, is centered around a corporation and the character that you represent from that corporation. I think that this puts voice actors in a very difficult position. And again, I'm not faulting them for this, but I'm thinking through the end of this scenario. So you've created yourself as a public figure that is inextricably tied to Hoyoverse, which is a company that is typically surrounded by a lot of controversy, in the least controllable environment, which is a live stream. And then we bring in the fact that the community is what we might call a bit rabid, and it puts these voice actors in a very difficult position. And so now, if you get into controversy or you get into some shit, not only are you risking your content creation, you are additionally risking your contract with Hoyoverse as a voice actor. On top of that, it can risk your reputation as a voice actor as a whole. That is a risky business, because now you kind of have your balls in a vice where you can't say a lot of things because you don't want to harm your relationship with the corporation. You don't want to look unprofessional, and it holds back your content creation quite a lot. My concern is that a lot of these voice actors are not experienced streamers, and you can sit here and say all day how streaming is the easiest job in the world. But the thing about streaming is that it is live. And sometimes when you're live and you're flustered and you've got 300 people in your chat, and maybe you've never talked to 300 people at the same time before, and your chat is running and there's something going on and you just happen to be streaming while Twitter was blowing up and everybody's asking you about it, and it's difficult. I don't know that if I was an inexperienced streamer, I would be very good at handling that. I worry for voice actors when they do this, because the community is so volatile that they will be consistently attacked. Because now you're not only a voice actor for Hoyoverse, you're a public-facing content creator who live streams. You're not paid to be a PR person, but you have to be able to do PR so that you don't put yourself or the company in jeopardy. And you're not trained to be able to handle those situations. And unfortunately, because the community oftentimes has a hard time separating out real life from voice actors, characters from voice actors. I think that this will always sort of happen. And I think that specifically choosing to live stream and interact with streamers puts these voice actors at a significantly higher risk. Again, it makes a lot of sense to do so because you are boosting your career as a content creator, you're boosting your brand as a voice actor as well. If you hype up your character and get people really excited by having fun clips and being fun on stream, more people might wish for the character, meaning you might get more voice lines with Hoyo, meaning more moolah, which we love. And there's a lot of benefits to it. But then the big deficit is that the community is volatile and the corporation doesn't necessarily help with the volatility of the community. And it's a very difficult situation. I worry about the voice actors always sort of having to be part of this harassment. How do you go about separating yourself when people know you as X character's VA? That's who you are to them. What about when you don't want to be part of the community? What about when your contract is over and you're doing different things? How do you then get yourself into other content creation ventures? That's very difficult. I worry that it's a short-term gain, long-term loss situation. And additionally, because you are the only public-facing thing they can reach, y'all know that the Hoyoverse doesn't care if you tweet them, right? You're not going to change anything by putting in a support ticket. You're not going to do anything to Hoyoverse. You know who you can almost certainly get to read a message, who you can possibly even get to respond to that message when you're upset, is Hoyoverse VA streaming live now in the Honkai Star Rail category. I guess the point of this is as a community, we probably should decide not to do that and maybe leave voice actors out of things when they're not involved, i.e. Annalisa Fisher being canceled on Twitter for watching a singular Tectone stream But the reality is that me saying that isn't going to change anything. The community is still going to choose violence on that, which is disgusting, short-sighted, immature, sad. It's never going to change because the community will want to be heard and they're going to take the easiest outlet because it's the internet and people don't have the maturity to understand that. And so I guess the concern I'm bringing up is for VAs to be careful. The community is not very respectful of boundaries. You're putting yourself in the position to play too many hats for things you're not being paid or trained to do. You are also sort of hamstringing your own career in the future. And I understand that VAs don't get paid well, and it is obviously a good business decision to try to boost your brand, get more VA contracts, get more money in general because you're streaming. It makes sense. But be careful how much you attach yourself inextricably to a corporation that in a bad situation absolutely will benefit from cutting you off more than keeping you around if you've done something wrong. Should you be attacked for things you say? No. Should it ruin your career, what you do in content creation, as long as you're not a terrible person? No, I don't think so. That doesn't mean that it won't. So be careful who you tie yourself to. Be careful with the way that you speak. And also, if you're an inexperienced streamer, be aware and understand and hopefully create plans on how to handle it when this kind of stuff happens. Because it just happened again with the VAs being attacked, and it will happen again and again. History will continue to repeat itself forever because the Hoyo community at large is just whack. And be aware of the amount of risk you take on when you go live as a voice actor for Hoyo, and that is your title, and that is how you are bringing people into your streams. Y'all are incredible. Y'all do good work. Being a voice actor is super hard, and you don't want opportunities taken from you. You don't want to risk your career because you're put into impossible situations by a community that doesn't have a good record of empathizing with human beings. That's kind of all I wanted to say. I am not trying to say that the voice actors are in the wrong or that this is like Hoyo's fault or anything. I guess I just wanted to bring attention to the incredibly risky situation voice actors put themselves in. As soon as they're announced as the voice actor for X character, they start going live as like, I'm this character's voice actor, come watch me. And they're instantly like, you know, one of the top of the category and stuff, which means that even more people see it. It's just a little bit worrying to me, and I don't know. I just wanted the thought out there. So I hope you guys have a good one. Let me know what you think of the situation. It's just a weird kind of concerning thing for me. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, say bye, YouTube. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.